I just wanted some quiet. That's all. A month alone, away from the city. No emails, no calls, no people. The cabin was perfect, tucked high in the mountains, with old wooden floors and windows that faced the forest. No neighbors for miles. The first few days were peaceful. I slept in, drank coffee on the porch, tried journaling, though mostly I just stared at the trees. And every night, I took long hot baths. That's when I noticed it. The mirror in the upstairs bathroom. It felt strange. Not cracked, not dirty, but like it didn't quite belong here. I don't mean stylistically. I mean, it didn't reflect light the way it should. Sometimes it looked deeper than the room behind me, like a tunnel or a screen. The third night, I was brushing my teeth when I noticed movement in the mirror. But I wasn't moving, and no one else was in the room. I froze, watched the reflection carefully, and then realized I could see something behind me. Something that wasn't really there. A child's chair, in the corner where nothing stood, and in it, the outline of a girl, just sitting still. I turned around fast. Of course, nothing was there, but when I looked back at the mirror, the chair was gone too. I told myself I imagined it. I was tired, probably dehydrated, but deep down, I already knew. The mirror wasn't empty. I didn't sleep that night. I kept replaying the image in my head. That child-sized chair. That shadow of a girl just sitting there. I told myself I'd imagined it, but I knew I hadn't. It felt too real, too still. Like something waiting. The next day, I avoided the mirror completely. Didn't look at it in the morning. Didn't brush my hair in front of it. Didn't even turn on the light in that bathroom. But at night, I couldn't help myself. I stood outside the door, staring into the darkness. And then, slowly, I walked in. The mirror looked normal. For a second. But then I saw her again. Not sitting this time. Standing. Still. She looked maybe 7 years old. Dark hair, pale face. Wearing a yellow dress that looked too clean for this place. She wasn't looking at me. She was looking at the tub. And she raised her hand, like she was reaching for something. Or someone. I didn't move. I couldn't breathe. Then, her head slowly turned toward me. And for a brief moment, I saw her eyes, empty but aware. Like she recognized me. Like she'd been waiting. I stepped back, knocked over the shampoo bottle behind me. And just like that, she vanished. But the mirror stayed fogged, even though the air was cold. And across the glass, clear as day, was a handprint. Small, pressed from the inside. That night, I locked the bathroom door, but I knew it didn't matter, because whatever this was, it didn't need doors. The next morning, I convinced myself it was just a dream. A vivid one, maybe, fueled by stress or loneliness. But that lie lasted 5 minutes, because when I walked into the bathroom, there it was, a smudge on the edge of the mirror. Not a fingerprint, a full handprint. Small, like a child's, but from the inside. I searched the whole house. Every closet, every room, even the attic. That's when I found the box. Old, dusty, tucked behind a pile of blankets, labeled in faded ink, Mason, 1998. Inside, an old photo album, a few children's books, and a Father's Day card, written in crayon. To Daddy, love, Lily and Jake. I opened the album, and my stomach twisted. Photos of a family. A man, a woman, 2 kids, smiling. And a woman. It was her, the one from the mirror. I stared at the photos for what felt like hours, and the longer I looked, the more I felt something strange. Recognition. Familiarity. Like I'd seen these faces before. Like I'd been there. But I hadn't. At least, I don't think I had. That night, I set up my phone in the bathroom, pressed record, then went to bed. I woke up at 3:08, not from a noise, just a sense, like something was pulling me awake. I walked into the bathroom. The mirror was vibrating, not shaking, breathing, like it was alive, like someone was behind it. I grabbed the phone, watched the footage. There I was, walking in, looking at the mirror, but something was wrong. I had no reflection. The room was visible, but I wasn't in it. Until, at 1:57, she appeared, the same woman, standing in my place, doing exactly what I'd done. I shut off the video, and for the first time, I wanted to leave, but I didn't, because now I needed to know who she was and who I really am. I stopped pretending this was just in my head. This wasn't exhaustion. It wasn't some emotional breakdown. Something was really happening. On the 5th day, I tried not to look at the mirror at all. Not in the morning. Not before bed. Not even by accident. I hung a towel over it, tried to forget it existed, but the next morning, I woke up with pain in my scalp, like someone had grabbed me by the hair and yanked. The towel was on the floor. The mirror was fogged, like someone had just taken a hot shower. But I hadn't. I was alone. That night, I couldn't help it. I sat in the hallway outside the bathroom. Lights off, only a small lamp glowing down the stairs. I waited. At 2:15 a.m., I heard a click. The light inside the bathroom turned on. That light didn't work. Not since I got here, but it glowed now. Soft, yellow. I stepped closer, looked in through the crack of the door. She was there again, washing her face, calm, like she belonged there. A little boy sat on the floor beside her, playing with a toy car. He looked real. I stepped fully into the room. They were gone. No light, no sound. Just me and the mirror. But in the reflection, the towel was still hanging, even though, in real life, it lay crumpled on the floor. Then, a man walked into the reflection. He was tall, wearing a dark hoodie. He looked at the woman, then the child, and then he turned and looked straight at me. Not in the mirror, at me through it. He opened his mouth. I couldn't hear the words, but I knew what he said. I've read lips since high school. When my mom lost her hearing from chemo, he said, "Why did you come back?" I kept asking myself, when did it start feeling like I wasn't me anymore? Maybe it was when I looked in the mirror and didn't recognize the woman staring back. Not that she looked different. She looked exactly like me. But it wasn't the me who came to this cabin. It was the me from somewhere else. I opened my phone, started scrolling through my gallery, looking for an old photo one I took with my best friend. I remembered it clearly. We were at a rooftop bar in LA. I was wearing a plaid shirt, laughing with a drink in my hand. But the photo wasn't there. Instead, I found a folder I'd never seen before. Dozens of pictures of two kids, a boy and a girl, playing in a backyard I didn't recognize. And me in the middle, smiling like I knew them, like I loved them, like I was their mother. But I'm not a mother. I've never had children. I don't even have a pet. And yet, when I looked at those kids, something inside me, like a part of me remembered them. I ran downstairs, searching for proof that this wasn't real. In my purse, a wallet, my photo. But the name on the ID said, Lena Mason. Not Lauren, not me. I'd never used that name. And still, it felt familiar. Like a name I hadn't heard in a long, long time. On the kitchen counter, a handwritten note. Same handwriting as mine. Same loops, same spacing. Grocery list. Juice, cereal, lunchbox napkins. Remind Jake about his school project. Jake. Who is Jake? That night, I sat in the hallway again, cup of coffee in one hand, flashlight in the other, just waiting, watching. 4 hours, the mirror stayed dark, still, silent, until just before sunrise. She appeared again, the same woman, but this time her eyes were red, like she hadn't slept in days, like she'd been watching, waiting. She stepped up to the mirror, and with one slow finger, she wrote on the inside of the glass, "Who are you?" And then, she was gone. I ran and filmed it, sent the video to a friend. She told me the glass just looked foggy, but in the video, the letters were clear. Not fog, not trick lighting, more like they'd been carved from the inside out. Later that day, I found a photo album in the attic. A picture, a man, a woman, and 2 kids. And at the bottom, in messy, childlike handwriting, "We miss you, Mommy. Please come back." I stopped calling it a reflection. It's not a reflection. It's a window. And someone on the other side is watching too. I woke up last night because of a smell. Flowers. Fresh, sweet, too sweet. I don't keep flowers in the house, especially not in the bedroom. But when I walked into the bathroom, there they were. A vase of lilies sitting on the windowsill. And next to them, a note. "You're home again." I screamed, but no one heard me. The phone had no signal. The landline was dead. I just sat on the floor, frozen. The tile beneath me was wet, like someone had stepped out of a bath. But I hadn't, and I hadn't turned on the faucet since morning. I remembered the journal, the one I found when I first arrived, tucked in the drawer under the mirror. Same handwriting as mine, same odd little habits, hearts over the S. The first page read, "I came here to remember. If you're reading this, don't trust the mirror." The rest of the pages were blank, except one near the end, scrawled in black gel ink. "They don't want me to leave." I went to the mirror again. This time it didn't show me at all. It turned dark, like tinted glass, until I backed away. Then it became clear again. But when I leaned in once more, I saw a woman. She was doing what I'd just done, moving the way I moved, down to the blank. Same clothes, same hair. But she wasn't me. Not really, because she was smiling, and I wasn't. She raised her hand, pressed it to the glass. I did the same, out of instinct, and in that instant, I felt the world shift. Not the air, not the house, me. Something in me moved. Everything went quiet, a silence that felt thick, like snow falling in a dream. And I felt warm, like someone was in the room with me, but invisible. I sat down and started writing this, because I don't know what's real anymore, or who I am. But I do know this. If you see her in the mirror, if she smiles, don't smile back. I haven't left the house in 2 days. There's barely any food left. My phone is dead, but now I know the mirror is alive. It's not a metaphor. It has rules, and it remembers. I barely sleep. I barely eat. I act like I'm preparing for something, but I don't know what. Sometimes when I look in the mirror, I see more than just me. I see the room behind me, but it's different. The picture on the wall has changed. The chair is in the wrong place. And sometimes, I see myself walking down the hallway, wearing pajamas I don't own anymore. Last night, I saw children. They were standing in the bedroom doorway. One of them, a boy, whispered, "Mommy, come back." I ran out into the hall. No one was there, but wet footprints trailed across the floor. Tiny, bare row. And then I remembered. My husband. My kids. The accident. How I got lost inside my own mind. They've been trying to bring me back. And this place, this house, it isn't just a cabin. It's a doorway. A place between here and there. I walked up to the mirror. There was a new crack in the glass. thin, jagged, almost like a scar. I looked at my reflection. She didn't move. And then she smiled. But I didn't. I never smiled. She lifted her hand, pressed it gently to the mirror. I did the same, and for a split second, I felt the world tilt. Not outside, but inside me. The air grew still, heavy with silence, and then warm, comforting, like someone was holding me. But I was alone. Now I'm sitting on the floor, writing this. Maybe someone will find it. Maybe they won't. Maybe it doesn't matter anymore. But if you're reading this, and you see her, don't touch the glass.